Well, it is 6:30. I'd like to welcome everyone to the April 27th, 2026 regular meeting of council. I now call this meeting to order. We'll start with any announcements. Councillor Beck.
Yeah, I just wanted to note for council and the gallery, item 8 is targeted sector support, so I will be declaring a conflict of interest on that.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Johnson.
And then I just wanted to announce that we have visitors from Beardy's Milkomas, the junior chief and council and the teacher league. So welcome to the city of Warman.
Welcome. Any other announcements? Okay, with that, look for approval of the agenda. Motion, please. Councillor Johnson.
I move to approve the April 27, 2026 regular meeting of council agenda as presented.
Seconder. Councillor Seed. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Then we'll move down to minutes. Motion, please. Councillor Seed.
Move to adopt the minutes from the April 6th, 2026 regular meeting of council and the April 20th, 2026 committee of whole as presented.
Seconder. Councillor Beck. Any questions or comments from the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Well, it's that time of the year. We are at starting our awards for 2025, and looking back at 2025 that we have announced them here in 2025. I'd like to call Aaron up to the podium there. The City of Warman is excited to kick off the presentation of our 2025 Volunteer Appreciation Awards with today's presentation of award of the Volunteer of the Year. The award recognizes an individual whose efforts have made significant impact on the development and advancement of recreational sport, arts and culture, environmental leadership, our community or social services during the previous calendar year. On behalf of the City of Warman and City Council, I'm excited to announce that the recipient of the Volunteer of the Year is Aaron Hoffman. Aaron is a teacher. I'll wait before applause. I've got a few things here. We got to let you know why she got this. So I had a chance to work with Aaron throughout her career, but Aaron is a teacher at the Warman Community Middle School and has been an active and dedicated member of the community for many years. Regardless of how busy she may be, or how full her schedule is, she consistently steps forward when help is needed. Erin has a genuine commitment to supporting local organizations her kids and family are involved in, and she gives her time without seeking recognition. Over the years, Erin has taken on numerous volunteer roles that require significant time, organization, and leadership. She has served as a formal softball coach with Twin City Softball Association, helped young athletes develop their skills and love for the game while carrying forward the same guidance, encouragement, and passion she received growing up while being coached by her dad. Erin has also been a team manager with multiple Warman Minor Hockey Association teams, where she has been instrumental in ensuring seasons run smoothly for players, coaches, and for players' families. Most recently, she was further demonstrated her dedication to the community by joining the Warman Minor Hockey Association Board of Directors, taking on responsibilities to help guide the organization and to support its long-term success. Erin's involvement goes beyond the simple filling roles. She's being reliable and a strong sense of responsibility at everything she does. Community and sport and youth programs thrive because of people like Erin who donate so much time and energy. Her ongoing commitment makes a meaningful difference, and she is truly deserving of recognition of her service and dedication. Aaron Hoffman, Warman City Council would like to thank you for your volunteer efforts and congratulate you on receiving the 2025 Volunteer of the Year Award. So I'll open up any questions or comments, and Councillor Cedar.
Just want to say congratulations. I've had the pleasure of working beside you on a hockey team, I think a couple of years at least. So it seems like every time, a few years ago, it seems like every time I'm at the rink, you're there. So you definitely, you don't just talk about it, you do it. So congratulations on a well-deserved award.
Councillor Johnson.
I think it's awesome. You give of your time during the school as an educator, and then it's the beauty of being able to do with your kids on the extracurriculars. So we're always with kids, just now we're our own, but it's really, really nice that you got your two kiddos there. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any comments from you?
No. They said it perfectly, like if you volunteer without, I don't need recognition, but it's appreciated.
Okay, we will move down to administration reports. We'll start with the Director of Finance and Administration, Director Carly. Hey, come on up, Brad. Does everybody know Brad Mahan?
No.
Okay, Brad Mahan. I'll let you introduce yourself too, but welcome to our council chambers. I know we've been at many events together.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me here. So Brad Mahan, President and CEO of Great Plains College, and I thought, I know we're going to talk about the request, but appreciate it's an unusual request. I think that's something that we've learned. It's something that's done in Swift Current, but just because it's done in Swift Current doesn't necessarily mean it's done everywhere. So, I appreciate the work that you've done and the recommendations that you're putting forward. I really wanted to share a little bit about what's happening at the college right now and talk to you a little bit about what's the current state and a little bit about what we have in sort of the future state. Thought maybe I'd put it into 3 buckets. I won't be long. Some of you know me know I can ramble. I wrote.
You get 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah. But I thought I'd organize my thoughts really around programming, the courses we offer, a little bit about community engagement, and then facilities, perhaps tying into that conversation. So regarding programming, we've been undergoing a little bit of a renovation, if you will, over the last couple of years. And I want to let you know we're actually sunsetting 3 of our programs. Sunsetting is a nice word that we use rather than cancellation of a program. But we have made, these are always difficult decisions, and we've made the decision to cancel our hotel and restaurant management program, our business certificate and business diploma, and our youth care worker certificate and diploma. I can talk a little bit more in question, maybe if you have some questions on the whys on that. There's some different reasons. Some of it has to do with demand for youth care and business. We just weren't seeing the demand anymore. And we don't make these decisions. We're out 1 year and you're out. I mean, when we see a trend over several years, I mean, you can imagine, we see the writing on the wall. Hotel restaurant management was full, but it was also full of international students. And that's a program that did not make the IRCC's list or postgraduate work permit. So we made that decision. But really, I'm excited to share with you some of the new things that we're doing. And so building on the success of our part-time carry program, we're actually going to be launching a full-time carry program in January. So we're excited about that. Also excited to announce that the primary care paramedic program will be coming here to Warman starting in January. So I'm really excited about that. And we're also working with our educational partner, Sask Poly, and the SHA to bring the licensed practical nursing diploma to Warman starting September of 2027. So with these programs collectively, we're really looking at building this healthcare suite of programming, if you will. And so collectively, they'll complement the ongoing programs that we have. We have heavy equipment operator and some safety courses. Early childhood education diploma has been wildly popular. We also have administrative assistant, English language training, and administrative assistant program as well too. I want to talk a little bit about community engagement because that's something that we've been really working on in the past few years. I always feel like people can't choose you if they don't know you're there. So that's the first step. I always think students and their parents are going to make the right choice for themselves, and they should, but I always hope we're in the conversation. So really grateful to our existing donors and sponsors, and of course that includes the City of Warman. Over the past few years, we've really worked to increase that community profile. We've done some things like annually sponsoring the Prairie Sky Chamber Business Excellence Awards, throwing candy at people in the Warman Day Parade. And in 2024, we held our inaugural Great Plates event. And that was really a fundraiser built around our hotel restaurant management student program. We rented the Brian King Center. We also ran that event successfully again in 2025. But the decision to sunset that program, I think, presents us with a new opportunity. And so just wanted to let you know that we're planning a fundraiser for this fall. And it will really be built around those healthcare programs. We're really looking for to raise some money to help build a healthcare lab for the growth in that continuing carry program and for the forthcoming licensed practical nursing program. And finally, I'll finish where I started, which is renovations. This not program renovations, but actually for the facility renovations. We're really grateful for our partnership with the Prairie Sky School Division. We've occupied space in the Warman High School for a very, very long time.
Prairie Spirit with that one.
Prairie Spirit, sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Prairie Spirit, I should read my notes. We've outgrown that space, and so we're really grateful. We started working with Crystal Clear Development for some space across the street, so expanding, and we now, endearingly call that place GPC North. And we're also working with Crystal Clear to expand that space. We've been in there since the fall of 2024, and they're investing about $250,000 this summer and we went into a place that was built for commercial space, and we've made it work, and that was a necessity. And they're renovating it now to make it more appropriate for our classrooms, and so we really appreciate that. We're also occupying space in the Mennonite Special Care Home. That's where our current healthcare lab is. We also rent the Brian King Center for everything from student orientations, graduations, scholarship events, and fundraisers like I previously mentioned. So all of that is to say we're really contemplating how, over the coming years, we might be able to consolidate our space. It's a bit of a puzzle, and it never feels good to say this as the president, but I'm not sure what we do there. But it's a good problem to have, as I think Mayor Philipchuk and I have talked about a few times. So it's just a topic that I look forward to, maybe talking with council about in the time ahead. So in closing, I'll just say, when I was preparing my remarks today, it struck me that I've been in this role for 4 years, and this is the first time I've been in front of you all. Mayor Philipchuk and I have spoken a few times, and staff and other councillors, but really, if this is helpful, even just for me to come in and give an update on what we're doing, maybe why we're doing it, and answering some questions, I'd always be happy to come. So with that, I'll conclude my formal remarks, and if His Worship or Council has any questions, please direct me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And I will open it up for questions, but I'm glad you mentioned that, we're trying to work on things, or trying to look at ways to expand and offer more programs and work together to have that happen. And so I realize that the motion coming today, we did discuss it at the committee of the whole, and you've had some background talks with that. Again, there's no decision made until tonight when we debate it, but at the same time, you're understanding some of the challenges with that. So I'm glad you recognize that too. So. Any questions or comments? Councillor C.
Just one question based on the comments you had there. I'm glad to hear that you're bringing a PCP, or primary care paramedic program, to the college, because I think there's a huge demand for it. Do you envision there also being an ACP program then, as that transitions through, as people are looking for their 2 to 4 year tenure and then want to take their advanced care?
Quite possibly, yeah. This is us. We have offered this program in Swift Current before, and now we're offering it up here, and I think there's opportunity for us to continue to build on that. I think it does come down to future facility. Great hosts over in the care center here. We have enough space for the 26-27 year coming up. For 27-28, our plans, where we actually don't have enough space as of this moment. And that's not to alarm anybody. We're working on it all the time, but space is continuing to become one of those challenges.
So just a point of clarification on that then is. You said that that's in conjunction with Sask Polytech, or is that taking their program from Saskatoon and bringing it out here?
That's what we would be doing.
It would be taking the program from Saskatoon.
Absolutely. Students who graduate, we would
awesome.
We would offer the program out here,
yeah.
Broker it from them, but the students would have the credential that the students would get would be from Sask Polytech. So we would work with them on that.
That's awesome. I think you need to talk to that man over there about helping you with that. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Councillor Beck.
Yeah, so with the programs that are sunsetting, that's whenever, like if the demand comes back, would you bring return to those programs, or would they be permanently cut off?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that we're really proud of is that responsiveness, and again, working with partners like Sask Poly, USask, and Regina, we even work with Lakeland a little bit. This is what we should be doing, is keeping an eye on what the demand is, the local demand in the community, and then working to bring those in. So, again, don't mean to diminish the sunsetting of those programs, because there are faculty affected by that. At the end of the day, I think this should be part of the natural evolution. Programs, again, I'll keep playing with the words, they sunset and others rise. And that's where I think, you all, and we work with the chamber and talking to the community as well too. We need that feedback to know kind of what's coming, so we're not reacting, but we're rather responding.
And certainly, like I'm hoping that today's going to be started the dialogue with all of council. Not the first time we're a little bit closer together, and certainly anticipate, let's say, what those needs are coming forward. So you certainly highlighted the space, demand and things like that, and whatever. If you have an idea as to what that number is now, and it's likely to grow.
Yeah. So we also have been renting some space in the Martinsville Civic Center and also the Northbridge Community Center, but looking at some of our regular classroom space in this region, we have about 15,000 square feet right now. And so that is where we're at. That's without the practical nursing program, and recognizing that some of these programs require specialized space. So they're not necessarily spaces that you can have multiple different subjects in there. They are sort of for one program. So that's no, I don't have a number for you, but I thought my answer was reflective somewhat, sorry.
Councillor Toole.
Just similar to Councillor C's question with the primary care program and that's something that's coming out of Sask Polytech. Is that similar to with the other healthcare programs that you're looking at bringing?
Yeah, the healthcare suite of programs, we work with Sask Poly on that, and so those are programs that we absolutely broker from them. We also, in Swift Current, have a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. We work with USask on that. So typically what we do, not for all programs, but for most, we do find a partner and we leverage that experience and that brand that they have. Helps the students, especially if they want to transfer after or go to other programs.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Well, I want to thank you for coming, and as you mentioned, and as mentioned by a counselor here, that it's always good to have these check-ins and see how things are going and really what the challenges you're dealing with and seeing if we can help you through that. And I know you've been working with administration with that, and sometimes it goes through administration to end up as an ask to come into council, and that's okay. That works too. But for us to have a good feel of where things are going and the growth, we had it in our strategic plan that, you know, looking at that potential growth of our college is something we're always looking to entertain. Okay, thank you. Back to.
Okay, so that brings me to my first report, which is a property tax exemption request from the Great Community College. So just to kind of recap the committee as a whole, we are recommending that we deny that proposed tax exemption for Great Plains College just on the basis of the Cities Act, the fact that it does set some precedent, and the fact that we, as the city, would not really have any third-party oversight of the agreement between Great Plains and the leasing facility there. But I did want to again highlight that there is that alternative option of potentially providing a grant up to the maximum value of that tax exemption. So if that is the will of council, that is something that we as administration would look into for council and bring back some options there.
Okay, looking for a motion. Councillor C.
I will move to deny the proposed tax exemption for Great Plains College, the leasee of 110 Central Street East, owned by Clearview Developments, and a property management company.
Seconder, Councillor Beck. Questions or comments? Councillor C.
So I'm just going to reiterate what I think we've all said at committee as a whole, just because we have a number of people in the gallery that weren't here for that. And with also with Brad standing here or being here, no issue in supporting the college at all. I mean, you guys, I honestly think that the future of the college in Warman is going to be bigger, better, stronger than it's ever been. Hearing that there's, you know, a lack of space and room right now kind of fires me up. Like, let's go, let's get it figured out then. So I think that this really comes from just wanting to support the college directly and not a private company with profit. That's a hard no from me, but as far as supporting the college directly through a grant or something like that, I'm all in.
Other questions or comments? I was just gonna, something similar, really just, I think the process leaving this, if this motion passes, is to come up with ideas that really look at that expansion, meet with administration and really talking to that ideas that can come to council then. I think that, you know, I think there hasn't been anybody that's really against any types of expansion that's here, and yes, we like to have that building where it's all encompassing and it was all together, but we're not there at this point. But I think in looking at options that are out there, it's always a possibility.
So just thinking about that, like, I mean, supporting Great Plains, yeah. So then I'm just wondering about an amendment. If we're looking at, do we have to amend the motion that we put forward to look at, explore options to help Great Plains with the grant, as that was one of the...
We don't have to do that. I think that was part of the conversation. I think it opens up the conversations then as a way to coming back to us, because I think without knowing all the details of the ask, then it's hard really to make any decisions on that. Okay. So I think through the spirit of the conversations we've had throughout this at the committee of the whole, I think that was where we were going with that. So, Councillor C.
Just to respond to Councillor Johnson, my intention, depending on whether this motion is passed or not, is actually to bring forward another motion immediately for that to potentially, if it's not passed, to direct administration to look into possibilities for council to come back. I think keeping them separate is very clean and very, very clear. So.
Can I just respond?
Yes, you
Sorry.
can.
And then, so then is that different from option 3 where it says deny tax exemption and provide grant with a maximum value? Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
that would be different. Okay, so that's saying that we will provide a grant. All we're doing is
Okay.
looking at the option if that's the will of council. So I think we're jumping. Let's stick to this motion only.
Yeah, yeah. And they're gonna, what I like about the motion, the way that it's stated and presented, is this is a, response directly to the letter and the request that we have without commingling, the actual, conversation and the issues that are in here, so I'm really happy that we are, keeping both of them separate.
Okay, I'll call the question and all those in favor?
I think we need a seconder first.
You know, get a second?
Yeah.
Oh, there was a
Back.
second? Okay, that flew right past me.
Okay,
You good?
all those in favor? Yeah, carried. Okay, Councillor Seed.
So if I can, I'd like to make a motion then.
Okay,
I would like to make a motion to direct administration to explore options to support Great Plains College similar to the amount or greater that was requested in the letter of correspondence that we received tonight. Is that clear enough? That's good.
you got that down? A seconder for that, Councillor Beck. Any questions or comments? Okay, see none, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, continue.
Okay, next on my list is the 2025 reserve transfers. We are recommending that council approve the proposed 2025 transfer reserves as outlined in Appendix A and acknowledge the projected reserve balance in Appendix B. I did just want to draw your attention, there was one change since committee of the whole. Through our audit process, we realized that the date of lift station 3 going into use was actually earlier than we had the original date that we had been given. So that incurred a little bit more amortization, which then increased that deficit. So that did increase the reserve transfer to cover that deficit. But other than that, everything is the same as was at committee of the whole.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion then. Councillor Beck.
I'd like to make a motion to move, to approve the proposed 2025 reserve transfers as outlined in Appendix A and acknowledge the projected reserve balances as outlined in Appendix B to the Director of Finance and Administration report titled 2025 reserve transfers and projected balances.
Seconder, Councillor Cripps. Any questions or comments? Councillor Seed.
Just one comment again, I supported what's going through, but I get a little frustrated when we present something at committee of the whole, and then there's a change, and we don't see that highlighted, so I don't like it. I don't like seeing that there's, even if something comes through and it's a separate email saying, hey, just so you're aware, this has been changed, I hate finding out the information to council and then being asked to make a decision 30 seconds later. So I really want to stress to administration that at least, maybe it's just for me, but if there's a change between our package that we're giving to committee of the whole and what's being brought to council, or our regular meeting of council, me for one, I want to see it.
Other questions or comments? Okay, see none, all those in favor? Carried. Okay,
And last is the Q4 update. We're recommending that a council approve the December 31st, 2025 quarter financial report as presented and approve the December 31st, 2025 capital project budget report as presented. Again, just to highlight, we were recognizing revenue at 119% of budget, and expenses at 109% of budget, and that is with the full 100% of amortization included in those numbers as well. There's various highlights for the revenues and expenses. A quick overview of the capital expenses was the overage on the land purchase for the additional acre, but being significantly under budget on the lift station 3 project. We are expecting a $400 underspend on that, which essentially was the contingency left unused.
okay. Motion please. Councillor Mason.
Move to approve the December 31st, 2025 quarterly financial report and the December 30th, 2025 capital project budget report is presented.
Seconder, Councillor Tooley. Questions or comments? Okay, see none, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, thank you. We'll move down to, Claire.
Done item 8. So this, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest. I am the targeted sector support coordinator, and therefore I don't want to take any position, so I'll be stepping over.
Thank you. Noted. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Philipchuk and City Council. The report I have for you tonight for the TSSS application would allow administration to move forward with the TSSE grant application with the City of Warman as lead applicant and Osler as the Town of Osler as our partner in partnership with the Town of Osler. And so this would authorize me to move forward with that application and the mayor to sign the letter of support as part of the application as well.
Okay, motion please. Councillor Seat.
I move to approve administration proceeding with the Targeted Sector Support Initiative grant application with the City of Warman as the lead applicant in partnership with the Town of Osler to support a regional council governance and development initiative, and the council authorize Mayor Philipchuk to sign the attached letter of support as part of the application.
Seconder, Councillor Mason. Questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Let Councillor Beck know. Let's wait till he's back. Okay, we'll move down to Director of Planning.
Thank you, Mayor Philipchuk, members of council. Just two items for discussion tonight. The first is a discretionary use for a 4-unit multifamily development at 302 North Railway Street. This was brought to committee a few weeks ago. Since then, we have done our advertising and sent out notice to properties living within 100 meters. We received no questions or concerns on this development. The recommendation tonight is that we move forward with approval for discretionary use for a 4-unit multifamily development at 302 North Railway South.
Okay, motion
Sorry,
please.
West.
Yeah. Okay, Councillor Cripps.
I move to approve the application for a 4-unit multifamily development at 302 North Railway Street West.
Seconder, Councillor Seat. Questions or comments? Councillor Seat.
Just one question, and I don't see it identified on here, is, again, parking is always a concern, right? So we've got 4 units that are gonna be there. Is there parking that's gonna be within the proposed lot, or are they gonna be parked on the street? And if it is on the lot, actually, I'll let you finish that first.
Yeah, no problem. So there'll be 4 stalls off of North Railway Street and 4 stalls off the rear alley.
Okay, and also, I do see it in the drawing here now when I'm actually looking at it, so no
That's
backing,
okay, not really.
yeah, no backing directly onto the street then.
Correct, yeah.
So that's the only concern I have. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Beck.
Yeah, actually one thing that I did want to comment on is, you know, certainly for this being a fourplex right on the corner, with this here, I think it's helpful that, you know, that the traffic on that street is only servicing one side, you know, and that there's no other residential on the south side. So, yeah, with that there is, you know, kind of, you know, with this here, I was really happy at how the parking actually worked out, very similar to the complex that is currently on Centennial, right by the water reservoir. So with that design, I think that's, you know, working out quite well there. So I think that would actually transfer, you know, quite well into this particular.
Yeah, it's not like that one or the one just after on the corner of 4th and 4th, which is a 6-plex and same kind of parking situation. And we haven't heard any concerns from any of the residents living around them since they've both been occupied. So fairly confident.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Carried.
Thank you. The second item I have for tonight is related to the Great Plains College and their heavy operator course. The city has an opportunity to partner with the college to undertake earthwork at a reduced cost as part of their heavy operator course. We're recommending tonight that council transfer $25,000 from the 2027 capital budget for MR21 to fund the fuel and associated costs for the earthwork. It's typically the cost for this program is about $400 a day for fuel, and they'll be working for approximately 4 weeks. The city has worked with the college on several other projects similar with heavy operator course, including at the site of the new public workshop, Prairie Oasis Park, and the Warman Cemetery. The program allows us to utilize the program. Sorry, a lot of programs there. The program allows us to utilize it to undertake earthwork that would otherwise have to be done on market price, which would represent a significant increase to the cost. This area is perfect for the college as it's wide open. There's not a lot of impediments, and the type of work that we're requesting is right in line with, I guess, the type of work that they like to train people on. So our recommendation tonight is that council allow for that transfer from the 2027 capital budget.
Motion, please. Councillor Cripps.
I move to approve the transfer of $25,000 from the 2027 capital budget for MR21 to fund fuel and associated costs for earthworks west of the tradition school within the future park in zone MR21.
Seconder, Councillor Mason. Questions or comments? Councillor Beck.
Yeah, so just a question on the funding amount, so 25,000. We certainly see fuel prices escalating quite substantially. We don't know what it would be between now and the project actually kind of completion and whatnot to calculate. So has that been taken into consideration for the amount of 25,000, or should we consider?
It has been taken into account. Initially, I was coming with 20,000, and I did have a conversation with Trina, who's the Great Plains representative who runs this program, and we did some math, and we're fairly confident that the 25,000 should cover both the $15,000 charge that we pay to the college as well as the fuel.
Okay, excellent. And if I could go a little bit further,
Yes.
you know, certainly on this, we've certainly engaged the Great Plains College, you know, to do other work for us. Zero complaints on that, right? You know, on that front. So, like there again, we're certainly hoping that we'll have that continued success and and demonstrate that working relationship.
Yeah, with this particular one, kind of just did some quick math, and we'd probably be well over 100,000 if we were doing the same type of work with private contractors. So there is definitely a savings to it. Obviously, they don't work quite as quick as a private contractor, but we're still getting the savings. So.
Yeah. But on that, like, timeline for MR21 with this year, we are ahead of schedule. We're starting this now. Right?
Yes,
So,
yeah. So next year we probably hopefully ready for grass and that type of thing. But we'll work with Parks and Rec on that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Councillor Cripps.
Yes, a couple comments. This is the kind of, you know, I know we've done this before, but this is the kind of outside the box thinking that helps save money and provides, you know, opportunities for residents and students in the community. And it just goes to show when you got good partners that you can work with, you know, what you can do. So.
Any other comments? Again, it's the benefit of being a growing city that we always have that earthwork happening, and it's a benefit to them as we're creating more employees that can be able to take on those types of jobs, as we know there's a challenge in that area. Other questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move down to Recreation. Director McGonigal.
Good evening, Mayor Phillips, members of council. I bring forth one item tonight for council's consideration, and that is the transfer of $33,599 from the recreation reserve into account 77110-52-370. There are two items that have led to the request, and that is the overage in the rebuild of compressor number 2 and the misallocation of funds for the glycol and the ice plant. Those both total $33,599, and I ask that the transfer from recreation reserves happen.
Okay, motion please. Councillor C.
I move to approve a transfer of $33,599 from the Recreation Reserves to 700-7110-52-370 Ice Plant Maintenance PC to cover the shortfalls of 2 Recreation Department projects. The first being the purchase of additional glycol for the ice plant at the Warman Home Center Communiplex, and the second is the rebuilding of compressors C2.
Seconder, Councillor Mason. Questions or comments? Councillor C.
Just reiterate my comments from our committee as a whole is that, I mean, $33,000 or $34,000 in the grand scheme of things for these two is relatively small. Obviously, the compressor is literally the heartbeat of the entire rake. We can't do it without it. And I can also appreciate that often I see, actually I think this might be only the second time in the 5 years I've been on council that I've seen Director McGonigal come in with an overage. So the time they're usually under. So I appreciate it, and I think that it's an easy yes.
Okay, other questions or comments? Okay, see none, all those in favor? Carried. Move to Fire Chief Austin. So you talking with Rob Mahan there?
Yes, he apologizes for you finding out at a council meeting. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Yeah, so, sorry. Yeah, my arm wrestling. Apparently Northlands College isn't able to run the course. They're not able to get instructors and things for that primary care paramedic course. So that's why it's going to come to Warman January 1st. And then Great Plains was scheduled to have it the following year anyway. So it sounds like it's going to be a 2-year deal for here.
Okay.
The college system, they make it move around, but it sounds like 2 years here. And he's going to chat in a couple weeks when he's back in town and look at what we can do to support their needs.
Thanks for the update. Do the minute update. Okay.
Yeah, so my report, just like was outlined in Committee of the Whole, we're planning on replacing our F-150, and we recommend, well, I guess we have a recommendation. I'll leave it to council.
Okay. Motion, please. Councillor Cripps.
Excuse me. I move to approve the purchase of an F-150 PPV truck from Discovery Ford in Humboldt for $61,531.50 plus tax.
Seconder. Councillor Mason. Questions or comments? Councillor Beck.
Yeah, I just want to say in the current environment out there, escalating prices, I think you did fantastic in terms of, timing and negotiation, and that whatever to get us, the price here that you did. It's certainly comes at a, substantial savings, compared to the other, let's say the other quotes that came in. So thank you very much for your work and dedication on that.
Excellent. Patience and procurement, eh? Other comments? Councillor Seed, yeah?
Just a question, just curious to see if I actually, obviously gave you a call earlier in this, or last week, I guess it is now. Have you had any success in any interest from other departments then, like with the existing stuff?
For our command truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yes, there's interest in that, and there's also interest privately in our replacement for engine 12 from the First Nations community in Saskatchewan. So right now, when stuff goes to auction, it's 5 cents on the dollar, but it sounds like there's a really good chance of actually doing very well on well, almost 50% of what we paid for stuff 10 or 25 years ago. So.
Awesome.
Just got to flip over the trash can.
Sure. Smile.
Other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Motion to file administration reports. Councillor Tooling.
I move to approve the administration reports as presented.
Seconder. Councillor Cripps. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Well, that takes us down to my report, and I'm going to start with a bit of a goodbye and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Our city clerk, this is her last meeting, and this is on behalf of council. We have a card and some flowers for you that we want to present to you. And thank you for all that you do. And I know I'll give council a chance during roundtable to make other comments, but thanks again. As I said in my report, I appreciate all that you've done. We get to know you quite a bit as the city clerk. During election time, you become our go-to person, and then also, even getting us the different bylaws and everything else. But you put on a lens that we have not had before with that legal background that really gave us some insights, probably a little more insights than we wanted with some of the LA FOIPs, but it gave us that knowledge base to be able to learn from that. So thank you for all you've done, and we wish you all the best. And as I said, working from home and giving you some options that way is just a great move for you and your family, and you'll never regret that aspect, and we're just glad to have had a piece of your time. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, any questions from my report? Our senior reported, I wasn't sure, she didn't mention she was coming, okay. Well, hopefully she's okay and there's no reason there. Okay, motion to file our reports. Councillor Seed?
I'll move that the mayor's report and youth council representatives' report be filed as they are presented.
Seconder, Councillor Cripps. Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, Councillor Beck.
All right, well, go back to Suma. So like there again, I think it was pretty successful for the city of Warman and the resolution that we put forward. So certainly nice to see that. But as for the Suma convention, it's definitely nice to kind of network, see what other challenges that some of the other communities are having out there and whatnot. So certainly from the from the trade show aspect, because I was there, I was certainly in the trade sector support role. Like there again, just great conversations, just up and about and whatnot, and seeing our fire, our fire chief walking around. It was always good to, when this year Warman was just top of mind. It didn't really matter where you were going, whether it was behind the scenes or out in front. This year, it was probably the most that I heard. Warman mentioned that, as a, as a city out there during the convention. So I think that just kind of speaks to the, the entire participation of all of our council. Beyond that Mayor Philip, Chuck and I both attended the State of Economy with Shrita, and we also hosted Shrita here. We had Brad and Aaron, thank you, to discuss economic development and some of the priorities that we're having as a community. So it gave us basically 90 minutes of one-on-one time, just to kind of look at exactly where we are, some of the priorities that we are kind of looking forward, going forward and whatnot. So I think that was a very successful conversation, and we look forward to seeing some of the results coming forward from that. So beyond that, I think I will leave it there for today.
Yeah, and Ashley was there with Richard and I.
Yes.
Councillor Beck and I, just to make sure everybody knew that. Councillor Johnson.
I enjoyed the sessions I attended at SUMA, so it was always nice to learn and grow as a councillor. Because I was at SUMA, I did not make the library board meeting on Wednesday night. And then the AGM I also missed out on. So we've had one of our accountants step down from the library board just recently. And then we'll have, I think do we have board approval for another letter coming up for a new board member coming up, I think. And then, we've got Court Donez for PRRC that will be doing the Métis Storyteller. We've had him once before. And at our conference for the educational gathering for Prairie Rivers Reconciliation. So he'll be doing some storytelling with us. And then I believe the education gathering is coming up for PRRC.
Councillor Grips?
Yeah, I'll begrudgingly say goodbye to Katie, even though I'm mad at you, I'll get over it. So I wish you all the best. Corman Park. Can we discuss Corman Park and that whole announcement? And
well, I don't know if we can discuss it as much as you can make some comments, I guess.
It's pretty disheartening that they come out local or publicly and want to separate from their partners, and I'm just curious, I know we have some meetings coming up. They're going to discuss it, and in my opinion, Reeve Hargrave there was some backhanded comments in there where full well he led the charge, but then I hope we can bring this back together and stick with our partners. And at the end of the day, it's just they want their cake and be able to eat it too. So, as a city in P4G, I'd like to know what kind of our plan or strategy is going to be going in dealing with Corman Park. Are we just going to listen to what they have to say and then discuss it, or?
Reeve Hargrave reached out today and asked for a meeting with me. So I gave him some dates and possibilities with that. And we do, like you say, have a P4G meeting coming up. So there's been some media out there that I did make a comment that was disappointing, and also that looking at the successes of all of our communities that have been there. I've kept it fairly much at that level at this point to say that the numbers don't lie, that we've all done well. Warman, Martinsville, Corman Park, and Saskatoon, we are the economic engine. So just what I said publicly, I said that way. So I this isn't probably the forum to have a full discussion, but I get, you can
This
give
is
your
where-
comment as you do a roundtable, I'm fine with that.
This is where, yeah, a roundtable, I
Yeah.
think that's a good spot to bring up, like, when we can, or what, you know, what maybe an action plan might be coming out of it.
Mhm.
I'd rather talk about something like this during roundtable than, hey, I had a, you know, a DPC meeting and we approved, you know, one relocation or rezoning application, right? So, yeah.
A lot of times though, it helps to have a report when we're having the discussion so people can
Well, that's why I'm just
synthesize it and do
asking,
it, sure.
You know, about
Yes.
making a plan moving forward,
Yeah.
not saying this is my plan, I'm just bringing it up, bringing it to everyone's attention.
That's fair enough. I agree. It's public and we're waiting for more information too.
I don't have
That's
anything to
me.
share except Katie, it was a pleasure working with you and, it was entertaining too, some of the stuff you did on social media. Nobody mentioned that, but you're a good sport to do that and yeah, you'll be missed.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed SUMA. It really took a lot out of a couple of the sessions, more than I thought I would, particularly the economic development section that myself, Councilor Cripps and City Manager were in. There's a lot of good slides there. You don't catch it all the time while you're sitting there, but I took, you know, a lot of photos of what was up on the screen and stuff, and there's some stuff that I think we need to realize or recognize. You know, we all talk about the Warman's branding and who we are and how good we are and how good we have it here. But I don't think we ever want to take that for granted. When we look around and see what the struggles and the adversity that other communities are facing in our province, like, we've got it so good here. And that's not luck. That's careful, dedicated planning. And I've said it many times before, but it's not just this council or the council before, but it's councils before that. You know, often we don't recognize the actual influence that our decisions have until 5 or 10 years later, sometimes 15 or 20. And there's obviously been a lot of good decisions made, you know, in the previous years to get us to this point, because I'm not trying to be facetious, but I'll bet you 80 to 90% of the problems I heard from other communities, I'm like, I'm not even interested because we don't have those. Like, it's incredible. So I hope everybody takes a moment just to really appreciate it when you're, you know, driving home today or going to work tomorrow, whatever the case is, just looking around this community and how awesome it was. I did have a opportunity to speak with Amber Clark with the RCMP. She actually approached me with the, I would say, interim commanding officer for F Division. They did express some interest in having him come out here. It's one of the few detachments he hasn't been out to yet. And the reason that he said he didn't need to come out is because it wasn't broken. So that's pretty high regard from the guy that's running the whole show. So I did just, obviously Amber has Amanda's contact information. I said, that's who you have to schedule through, that's who you have to go through. So it sounds like they are going to be coming out to do that fairly soon. And then I guess the only other thing I was going to touch base on is what Councilor Cripps said. A little bit alarmed to hear the indication from Corman Park about exploring options to remove themselves from P4G. But that being said, a couple of conversations I've had since then, as well as I think we do need to hear from Reed Hargrave. He's not a stupid man. There's always a long-term plan with that guy. And I think that he knows that Corman Park is better with Warman involved, with Martinsville involved, and, you know, obviously with Saskatoon involved in some capacity. So I think that there's a longer end game here that we may hear about. I don't have the information to say that for sure. I'm just saying that I've known Joe Hargrave for a number of years in private business dealings, and I just think that there may be something else coming down the pipe that we're unaware of. So before we get too reactionary, I definitely, again, I share the disappointment, but I would be curious to see what's going to happen here in the next 3 to 6 months, kind of with that group. And then I'll just leave it with just a reminder that we do have the Business Excellence Awards coming up a week from this weekend, I guess, right? So I was looking forward to those that can be there for that, and it's always a good time to show local support for our businesses. And Katie, thank you for everything. I probably was the biggest pain in your ass, and I'm okay with that. But I wish you all the best in what you're going forward to do. And we were so fortunate to have a lawyer sitting in that role, even though it wasn't officially as a lawyer for the city. But I bounced questions off you all the time, I feel like, and I really appreciated your candid responses on stuff, and just no BS, no fluff, just get to the point. And that's something I always appreciate about you. And I think that I can speak for everybody at the table that you're not going to be with the city anymore, but you're not too far away, and you have all of our numbers, and there's never anything we can do to help you out, just let us know.
Excellent.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm just going to comment about your comments about Hargrave. Too many Hargrave. At the economic summit that I know some of you are attending, maybe it's a reason for more of you to attend. I saw in today's announcement that he will be on the stage, as well as Jeff Jorgensen, as well as others, and it's still before they've made any decisions. So if you want to see it in a form, an economic form, very live and very public, you're all invited. Like I know it's a pretty good event, and if you really want to be pumped about what's happening in Saskatchewan, that's usually the way we leave. Last year it was a lot about uranium and potash, and just all the great things happening in those areas. This year is a little bit different, but I'm seeing that was just in today's briefing notes that were sent out to all of us. I didn't know that either. That was news to me, and I thought that'll be good, because that'll be, in some ways, they'll have already done some debriefing before then, but that's in May. I don't have the date right here in front of me, but I can probably find it.
We probably have it too.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
State economy, May 12th. May 12th. And let Ashley know if you want to go. If you haven't already, let her know. I know that we've already got a few people going to that, and it is a full day event, but if you can maybe try and find when works for you, that's fine. But I find it is one of the high-end events of the year, and so it really is done well, and it's a lot of movers and shakers in areas that are happening, so it really is high level with a lot of political people within the building listening in on all that's taking place there. I just thought that forum adds another dimension. I want to mention that because it sort of ties exactly if you say we need to hear more. Well, I think we're going to hear a lot at that moment, because you'll have already had reflective chats probably with all of us other mayors before that point.
And just to double down on what Mayor Philipchuk is saying, like, I know last year was by far the best state of the economy I'd ever been to. It was, like, when you're talking about people that are influencers in our province, like, you have the CEO of Chemical, right? You have, like, people there that are running multi-billion-dollar corporations in our province, and if you want to, when they're done talking, walk up to them. They're right there. They'll answer any questions you have. Like, it's a very informative meeting, but it's not intense. It's not heavy. You don't need to be taking notes on everything if you don't want to. Like, it's like a SUMA kind of, event on steroids, or a breakout session kind of thing. It's awesome. Like, if there's anything you can do to be there, I highly encourage you guys to be there. So.
Good stuff. Okay, Councilor Dooley.
City Clerk, thank you for everything you've done, and all the best in your new role. Are you planning on still doing the resident meteorologist stuff? Different camera operator maybe, or a different partner in crime for that?
Maybe a cameo here and there.
That'd be good. Tomorrow night I'm at the Legends Golf Course, the AGM, just their spring AGM, just to give a quick update from the city, and thank you, Andy, for putting together some notes for me for that. Did have a board meeting last Thursday, and just a couple updates coming out of that. One, they actually don't have a date yet for when the course is going to open. I think the snow event that was predicted was kind of throwing that out of sync. They are saying that there's a very high level of water on the course right now. All the retention ponds are all fuller than they have seen for many years. So I know they're pretty interested in the work that kind of we're doing preliminarily on expanding some drainage options, and they're really looking forward to seeing that happen at some point. So I'm keeping them in touch with Brad and with Amanda as much as possible. So there's that piece. Also, they have some sort of preliminary plans that they've got together for their expansion. One of the things they're just in the process of exploring is doing some modifications or movement of the cart barn to kind of save on some of the construction costs. So the way that things are laid out right now, if they're to do the expansion as is, there's a fair bit of fireproofing that they're going to have to do with the expansion because of how close the cart barn is. But if they look at doing a little bit of a shift to it and moving it, then they may not have to do that same fire rating that they were expecting with the plan. So they're hoping that there are going to be some cost savings there and maybe not a lot of cost to move the cart barn. And they also think it might be just a good idea to move the cart barn in general because it frees up a lot of space there for some outdoor events. And just echoing the comments from Suma, lots of good sessions, and yeah, it's always a good opportunity to get away. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm just going to quickly mention too that it's Smile Cookie Week and all the money going to the senior center. So if you get a chance to buy some cookies for your staffs or whatever else, great time to do it. Okay, I will move down to correspondence. Correspondence, motion please. Councilor Cripps.
I move that the letter from the Water Security Agency dated March 30th, 2026, and the corresponding permit to operate sewage works be filed as correspondence.
Seconder. Councilor Seed. Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. Motion for accounts. Councilor Tully.
I move to approve the city accounts as presented by checks numbered 4099 to 4221 for the total amount of $1,345,979.90, and the payroll vouchers numbered 21829 to 21987, almost got a little mixed up, in the amount of $222,995.24 for April 27th, 2026.
Seconder. Councilor Cripps. Questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. Before we get into adjournment, I'm going to give you the last word. Last meeting. Any comments from you? Here you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I have loved acting as the City of Warman's city clerk and resident meteorologist. I've learned a lot, met some lifelong friends and mentors for sure, and I've loved working with each and every one of you. Especially love the election. Love planning that.
Well, keep that in mind.
But no, thank you everybody. It's been a real honor.
Thank you for that, Kitty. And motion to adjourn. Councilor Tully.
Move to adjourn the April 27th, 2026 regular meeting of council.
Seconder. Councilor Seed. All those in favor? Carried.